From Forex Traders Daily, this is your daily analysis with Ross Mullins, live from Richmond, Virginia.
Hello everyone, this is today's video analysis for January 8th, 2016. Today I'm going to be taking a broad overlook of each of the U.S. currency pairs in anticipation of today's U.S. news. Non-farm payrolls being released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern U.S. time today. So we'll want to be watching that. I don't really have any trade suggestions prior to getting into that news time, but after that news, after the market absorbs that information, we find what direction the currencies are going to go in after that news is released, then we might look for some opportunities after that. So we're going to go through each of the U.S. currency pairs as we look forward to that news later today. I also want to recap a couple of the trade suggestions made over the past few days. Starting here on the USDCHF, the US dollar versus the Swiss Franc. If you look at the very bottom of the chart, you can see there's a trade going at around the 99.28 level. That was as the market came back down into the 99.20, into the 99.30 level, just into the blue shaded area down here at the bottom. Yesterday we talked about this blue trend line coming up from the bottom of the chart, noting that if we got through the parity level, the pink shaded area, this blue shaded area would be the next area that we would look for as our support for the US franc. So yesterday we were in a buy. If you remember from the live trade room yesterday, we were in a buy from the 1.0010 level. During the trade room, we were able to get the trade to break even, to protect the trade from going negative if the market turned lower. Well, of course, the market did that. It turned lower, taking us out of the trade with 0 pips on the trade, the break even on the trade. It continued to aggressively push down yesterday, pushing all the way down to the 99.30 level. I put a pending order at 99.30. The market slipped that a little bit in my favor, back down to 99.28, and now we're sitting about 65, 70 pips of profit. I've closed about 2/3 of the position now, waiting for non-farm payrolls, closing 2/3 of the position and protecting the trade by moving the stop into profit here for the U.S. franc. Of course, non-farm payrolls, positive movement for the U.S. sends this back higher. Any negative move on non-farm will send it back down towards the blue zone, and it'll be good news that we protected profit on the U.S. franc. So really what we're looking for today, positive movement. We look for the break back above parity, the pink zone, and the continuation, possibly a new high being made. Negative movement, we look for it to head on back down towards the blue shaded area down here and the trend line that's in place for the U.S. franc. Moving on to the euro dollar, another trade opportunity we were talking about yesterday during the live trade room. It was sitting here into the yellow shaded area, into the mid to upper 10800s yesterday. Really didn't have a trade opportunity I was comfortable with, but I did make note in the trade room yesterday that if it ever made it back up here to this orange shaded area, that's where I'd be looking to go short into this red trend line and the channel, the trend channel that we see between the red and the blue trend line. So it made it up there yesterday, took into a short. You can see the trade going on down here at 109.25 at the very bottom of your chart. I'm sitting about 50 pips at the current moment, seeing a little bit more than that as it was down into the 108.60 level, but trade is protected. We've closed 2/3 of the trade going into NFP. Let's go ahead and zoom it in a little bit here so we can see that a little bit better. There was the trade all the way up here just underneath the orange zone. That was posted, by the way, on the notifications yesterday. Underneath here, we'll look for positive movement for the US dollar. We send it back lower. Negative movement for the US dollar on NFP. We're back up towards the orange shaded area once again for the euro dollar. Moving on to the GBPUSD, we've been challenging multi-year lows. Take a look at this. We're back here on the weekly time frame. The little red box is the last low we see, but before that we got to go a long way back in history before we see the market into these points of low price. In fact, if I go out here to the monthly chart, you can see the significant lows going all the way back into the 1990s that we're reaching towards right now for the pound dollar. Zoom it back down towards the 4-hour chart. You can see the market just settling down here, trying to figure out what to do with these multi-year lows that we've seen for the pound dollar. Positive movement for the US dollar. We'll likely see a new low being made underneath the 1.4560s. We'll look for a continuation lower for this. Any negative movement for the US dollar on NFP, we'll likely look for this to continue pressure higher for the pound dollar. Moving over to the USCAD. Take a look at the pattern of the trend. I think that's the biggest thing you want to take away from this CAD. It's an uptrend. It's multi-year highs, but it continues to climb. So look at the pattern of the trend. We had this red box down here at the very bottom left-hand side of the chart. Little red circle here showing that resistance at the blue shaded area. Broke above there. made a rise to this yellow zone. You see the red circle with the congestion around the yellow shaded area. It took a breakout, rise, pink zone, congestion, took a rise, congestion at the green zone, but now we've created this range. The black box here, similar to the red box down here at the bottom, broke out above there. We're in the pattern of the trend. Guess what? If we continue like we did down here, a break above the red box, congestion, continuation, we could take one of those same red circles and just continue the pattern of the trend. In fact, this time I'm going to make them blue since that's what came up. So it's a new pattern of the trend. You can see there we are in congestion. So given the pattern of the historical trend that we've seen over the past few months here for this pair, what do you expect to happen? Well, any breakout above the 1.4100 level, a real significant break above 4100, the pattern of the trend continues. We look for a new high back into the 4200s for the USCAD. Of course, we have Canadian and US news at 8:30 a.m. Eastern US time. Definitely want to watch for that. Positive movement for the US dollar sends us back higher. Negative movement sends it back down again for the USCAD. So looking for a breakout of this congestion here between 4,060, 4110 for the day on the USCAD. US yen, another trade opportunity we took yesterday. It was posted to the member notifications. It was a sell into the 118.50 level, the green shaded area just underneath the blue trend line. I'm out of that because it took me in. I saw over 20 pips. Went to break even, and you can see that if I go over here and take this, there it is right there. There's the trade. As you can see, 118.55 is the entry, and then you see it closed at 118.55 at break even. So again, the sell was at 118.55. It saw over 20 pips, went back up, took us out. So we're out of that one at the current moment, and we'll likely stay out of it until after the news. Any positive movement for the US dollar could see the breakout above that green shaded area in the blue trend line for a turn back higher again. Negative movement back down towards the lows for the US yen. Australian dollar has been a bear trend, significant bear trend here for this currency pair. Weakness out of China, positive movement expected for the US dollar, just continues to pressure lower. The pink shaded area have not seen the breakout underneath 7,000 yet here for the currency pair. That's what we're looking for today, a break underneath 7,000 for the continuation of the downtrend, all the way back down to the multi-year lows, down into the 6,900 level. So that's what we're looking for today. Break under the pink zone, continue down. That would be positive movement for the US dollar. Any negative movement might see a little bit of retracement back here for the Australian dollar. 4-hour time frame, there it is right there. No significant breakout. We saw challenge, no significant breakout underneath 7,000 yesterday. So that's what we're waiting on for the day today on the Australian dollar. New Zealand dollar, very similar situation. We've seen a significant fall off of, by the way, the weekly trend line. We've been studying that in the live trade room. Falling off that weekly trend line, it's been significant fall. We've been looking for rallies to sell this currency pair. Just haven't had the opportunity yet to get in at a clear spot. We were looking at the 6680, 6700 level, the orange shaded area earlier this week. Never made it back up into that to take us into the trade. We're now underneath the 66.25.45 level, the yellow zone, challenging the green zone. Let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. Look at this. Look at that congestion in there. No open and close, single candle body open and close outside of there to really give you a significant clue to a breakout. So that's what we're looking for today, a significant clue to a breakout. Positive move for the US dollar, I think, would likely look for the breakdown of 65.60, the green shaded area, and we look for a continuation of the downtrend. So movement underneath that green zone. Look for the continuation of the downtrend, possibly as deep as the 6,500 level. So let me see if I can get this pulled over. This blue shaded area down here at the very bottom. That will be our next potential target. Let me see if I can get it pulled over here. On down towards the 6,500 level if we can get through this green zone. But a continuation lower. Positive movement for the US dollar sends it lower. Negative movement sends it back higher for the New Zealand dollar today.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.